All right, everybody, we are live. It is Ask Dr. Glidden 122 2025. We are here with Stefan Verstappen as well. You guys probably know him from YouTube, and he's an author of The Art of Urban Survival, The Master's Guide to the Way of the Warrior, and many other books. And we have Dr. Peter Glidden on here with us because out of the two people in the entire world that I trust with anything when it comes to health, it's Dr. Glidden and Dr. Monzo. And Stefan's a good friend, so this is why I wanted to have him discuss his issue with his heart and things like that with Dr. Glidden.
Okay, very good. So here's the deal. Stefan, it's a pleasure to meet you. So I'm going to ask a lot of questions, okay?
Sure.
And I don't know is a perfectly fine answer.
Okay.
Because here's the deal. The conventional medical doctors are trained to treat a diagnosis.
Right.
Holistic doctors are trained to treat people.
Yes.
There's a big difference between treating a diagnosis, which is fictitious, and treating a person, which is real. So the keys to the cure lie in the symptoms that the sick person's body is expressing. So, for example, if you had a migraine headache, I would not be able to treat it because there's no treatment for a migraine headache, but there is a treatment for a person who has head pain. So, for instance, if your migraine headache felt like your head was being squeezed in a vice, it would need a different treatment than if your migraine headache felt like your head was exploding, like it was being pumped filled with air. If you had palpitations in your heart, which were worse if you lay down on your right side, you would need a different medicine than if you had palpitations in your heart, which were worse if you lay down on your left side. And on and on and on and on. So the way that anybody's body is expressing its symptoms holds the key to the cure of the problem. So for the next, 15 minutes, more or less, you and I are going to be talking back and forth in order to try to get an understanding of what your body is doing symptomatically.
Great.
I don't really care what the diagnosis is, okay? All I care about is what you feel like. So, of all of the symptoms that are bothering you, mental, emotional, or physical, what's number one? What's the worst thing?
Lack of energy.
Okay, from the time that you wake up in the morning until the time that you go to sleep, is there a time of the day when the energy is worse?
Not really, no.
Is there a time of the day when the energy is better?
Not that I can think of. It sort of depends. But sometimes I feel a complete lack of energy, but it doesn't seem to be pegged at any time of the day.
Yeah, so it's not like you hit a wall at 1 o'clock in the afternoon and have to take a nap or anything like that.
No.
Okay, and how long has the lack of energy been a thing?
Well, for a couple of years now, that's the thing. You see, let me just give you a brief background on my medical history. I don't believe in doctors either, Dr. Glidden. I haven't been to a GP in 50 years. There's nothing wrong with me. I don't have arthritis. I don't almost never get a cold. I can't remember the last time I got a cold. I don't have any health problems whatsoever. I'm a martial arts practitioner. And when I was younger, I did go into pre-med. I was going to become a naturopath. So I am familiar with that kind of philosophy. But I always thought, being a Dutchman, which is the tallest and strongest of all the Europeans, it's true. Look it up. Dutchman, strongest and tallest. I've always felt like I've been like Superman. Nothing affects me. I don't get sick. Food doesn't bother me. I went all through Asia, ate everything, never got food poisoning. So, I'm a monster.
So why are we talking?
Because last April, I had an incident. I woke up and I couldn't catch my breath. You try to inhale deeply, but the air wouldn't go up to the top of my lungs, right? so he couldn't yawn, for example, and the air wouldn't fill my lungs, and then I'm sort of like gasping for breath, like this. So just so happened that my good friend Dixie called me at that time. She says, "How are you doing?" I said, "Well, I'm having trouble breathing for some reason." Now, a couple of nights before, I woke up in the middle of the night, and I seemed to have a lot of fluid in me, like a lot of saliva, and I was coughing up a lot of fluid. Excuse me. So she said, "Well, you got to go to the hospital right away." Well, this is anathema for me. Like I said, I haven't been to a doctor in 50 years. She said, "No, you got to go to the doctor." So we went to the emergency room here. It's a small town. It's a nice hospital. No diversity. And no, I really appreciate. I'm sorry, I do not want a Nigerian nurse looking at me. I don't care. And so it was all small town people, and they treated me like royalty. I got into emergency room in 5 minutes. Can you believe that? And so they right away hooked me up on all kinds of monitors. And well, what they told me was my blood pressure was 280 over 130.
No.
Yep, and that I had double pneumonia.
Uh-huh. Okay, very good.
So then they gave me some pills, and then I think they fed like 3 liters of antibiotics intravenously. And then I had all kinds of scans. I had X-rays and ultrasound, and I had a CAT scan. And anyways, they gave me a prescription for half a dozen drugs, which I took for a week, and then the prescriptions ran out, and they never renewed the prescriptions. And by that time, I felt okay again. So they never gave me a diagnosis because it was like an emergency room doctor that didn't really follow up. I guess I should have called them back or whatever. But, like I said, I have a real problem with the medical establishment. And, I'm feeling better again. Then I don't need you. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
And but now it's coming back, not as bad as it was last April, but I recognize the symptoms now. I'm really tired, even though I bicycle every day, and I try to maintain my fitness level, but it was just too much. And so now climbing the stairs. Well, okay, after 3 flights of stairs, I got to stop, catch my breath, and I have like low energy. The other thing that started happening too was I would get panic attacks. Now it's not because I'm afraid of anything. I'm a warrior. I laugh at the face of death. But the heart palpitations. You'd feel it in the chest, and so I started getting the panic attacks again, the shortness of breath, and then a couple of nights ago, again, I'd wake up in the night without being able to take a complete breath. And that's where we stand right now.
Okay, very good. So what time at night do you wake up?
About 3-4 o'clock.
What is it that wakes you up?
I don't know, the inability to breathe.
Okay, very good. So it's not like you wake up because you have a nightmare or because you're really hot or because you have a pain in your big toe and then you feel like you can't breathe. It's the breathing itself that wakes you up?
Yeah. No, I don't have, I have never had run a temperature because I test myself. I go, whoa, am I burning up? Have I got a fever? No, I don't run a temperature. I don't have any pains anywhere. It's just that you can't take a full breath, and it sort of feels like you're drowning.
Yeah. Are you panting when you wake up in the middle of the night?
No, I'm not panting, but it's like you have to take conscious control of your breathing.
Does it feel like you're suffocating?
Yeah, a little bit like you're suffocating. So I would, in martial arts, we have a lot of breathing techniques. So I would wake up and I would do my deep breathing techniques down into the abdomen and breathe out slowly. And the thing is that if I get up and I start moving around and I start doing a little bit of exercise, within an hour, the breathing returns to normal.
Okay, very good. So in the 24 hours of the day, the breathing is only problematic in the middle of the night?
Yes.
Okay. When do you experience palpitations?
Throughout the day.
Pretend I don't know what a palpitation is and describe to me what it feels like, please.
Well, it feels like your heart is pumping really hard.
Where do you feel that? You feel it in your chest? You feel it in your throat? You feel it in your temple? Where do you feel that?
I feel it center of my chest, right behind the sternum.
Very good. Is there anything that you can do to make it happen?
Well, I haven't tried to make it happen.
Yeah, I know. It's a funny question, right? I perhaps I should have phrased it differently. Are you aware of anything that aggravates the palpitations guaranteed?
No, because my days are pretty much the same. So sometimes it'll just come on for no reason that I can think of. Like I'm not easily triggered by anything.
Yeah.
So and I'm not really worried. Well, I worry a little bit, but about where the world is going and things like that. But
Yeah.
I've been worried about that since I was 12 years old. So
Okay, very good. When you have the palpitation, do you become anxious? Does the palpitation accompanied with anxiety or not?
yes, a bit of anxiety.
Okay, very good. And does anything else accompany the palpitations? Like you get a headache, you get really hot, you get really cold, you get nauseous, you get super thirsty, or anything at all besides a little bit of anxiety?
Nothing else.
Okay,
Yeah,
very
no headaches, no fevers, no trembles, no. It's just the palpitations in the center of my chest, like it starts beating harder, like as though I had done some heavy exercise.
Yeah. Okay, very good. Okay, hold on. What happens if you walk up a flight of stairs? Will that induce a palpitation or not?
No,
Okay, very good. Does the breathing become compromised when you have a palpitation during a palpitation?
no.
Okay, very good. Okay, very good. Now, anything else? I've, um, I'm hearing a little bit of a cough now.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so when you are provoked to cough, is it from a tickle in your throat or from an irritation in your chest?
Irritation in the chest.
And is it in the middle of the chest? Is it more to the right or more to the left?
I would say it's in the middle of the chest.
And are you aware of anything that aggravates or will excite the cough, like eating or drinking or talking or laughing or walking or sleeping, anything at all?
Not really. Smoking a joint would do it, so I've really cut back on that.
Okay, very good. And are you coughing stuff up?
A little bit of phlegm, yeah.
Very good. Do you swallow it or do you spit it out?
I swallow. I have nowhere to spit it.
Okay. Is anything, when you cough mucus up, does that relieve the cough?
Yes.
Okay, very good.
And also, it's very clear. The only other thing
Well, how do you know that if you swallow it?
Well, I have spit it out a few times.
Okay, very good.
Because I wanted to check for myself if there's any bleeding in there.
Yeah, very good.
And in the mornings, the only other thing is in the mornings, I always have to blow my nose. I seem to have a lot of phlegm, and again, it's perfectly clear. There's no color to it whatsoever, no blood in there, and no tint of a color, anything like that. But I do have to blow my nose in the morning every time I wake up, and I have to blow it like 3 or 4 times to get all the. And also it depends. If I sleep on my right side, then most of the what do you would call it, the snot, comes out my right nostril. And if I sleep on my left side, most comes out the left. So it's something that accumulates, I guess, while I'm sleeping. And then when I wake up, I got to blow my nose.
Do you have any postnasal drip?
No.
And the quality of the mucus, is it thin like water? Is it normal mucus or is it sticky and stringy?
It's not quite thin. Yeah, it could be thin like water, but it's certainly not mucusy. Not thick at all.
Very good. All right. Excellent description. Now, since you've been sick with this, since April when you had pneumonia, how is the thermostat of your body compared to your buddies? Are you the same as everyone else? Are you a little hotter than everyone else? Are you a little colder than everyone else?
I don't notice any difference. No, I don't feel hotter or colder. Um, I feel a little,
What temperature do you want your house?
I like it cooler. I prefer cooler rooms. I live in an apartment and I have no control over the thermostat. Apparently, that's a government thing now. The government controls the temperature in my apartment. And because I called the property manager, I said, it's too hot in this apartment. And it's not me because I have a delivery guy on your mark. Mark comes up. And every time he comes in this building, he goes, holy shit, it's hot in here. So it's the building. They keep the temperature up very high. And what I do is I open up all my windows, even in the wintertime, just to cool things down. So I would say I prefer the temperature to be around 65 degrees.
Yeah. Perfect answer. Okay, very good. How do you feel about being outside in fresh air?
Fine. I love outside and fresh air. As a matter of fact, that's the thing I think contributes to my ill health right now, because when I train, I prefer to be outdoors. I
Yeah.
hate to be in the gym. I hate it. And normally, under ideal conditions, which is seldom available here in the frozen wasteland called Canada, I will go up north. I will go outside. I will go into the forest, into the park, out in the field, and I will do my martial arts training out there, or I'll go bicycling, or I'll go canoeing down the river. And so I prefer to train and be outdoors. But because of the winter time, we just had minus 29 degrees yesterday. Yeah. So needless to say, I'm not out in the forest.
Okay, very good. Since you've been not feeling so great, are you inclined to sleep with your torso or your head propped up on a couple of pillows or not?
No. I sleep. I generally sleep on my right side for most of the night, and my pillow is just enough to compensate for the space between my shoulder and the mattress.
Very good. And on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being high, how would you rate your thirst, your overall thirst?
No, I'm not extra thirsty at all.
So how would you rate it? Like a 1 or a 2 or a 3?
Well, I would say maybe a 2. Yeah.
Okay, very good. All right. I know what you need. Do you have a pencil?
Yes.
Okay, very good.
I prepared because I knew I was going to talk to you today. So I got my notebook here and my pencil.
Okay. So there's a homeopathic medicine which is indicated.
Okay.
First, I'll say it and then I'll spell it.
Thank you.
It's called pulsatilla. You spell that P like Peter, U like Utah, L like Lima, S like Sierra, A like Apple, T like Thomas, I like India.
2 L's.
2 L's and 1 A.
Yeah, got it.
Pulsatilla. Okay. Now, I don't know where you're going to purchase a homeopathic medicine in Canada. Maybe a health food store will carry it. Okay. Maybe you can purchase it online. So the homeopathics come in different potencies, different strengths. So in a perfect world, you would get pulsatilla in the 200C, C like Charlie, or 200 CK potency.
Okay, potency, got it.
Perhaps you'll only be able to find 30C. All right, so you'll either get 30C, pulsatilla 30C, or pulsatilla 200C, or 200 CK. All right, the medicine's going to be dispensed in a small vial, kind of the size of your pinky finger.
Is it liquid or powder?
It's about 150 little white pellets inside the vial.
Oh, okay.
The dose would be 3 pellets orally.
Yes.
You pop them in your mouth and you rub them against the roof of your mouth with your tongue until they're dissolved.
Okay, dissolve in mouth, yeah.
3 times a day.
3 times a day, got it.
Okay, now you do that for 5 days in a row.
Okay.
If by day 5 there's no change, you can stop taking it.
Okay.
If Now, sometimes, depending on too many variables to predict, people will have an almost immediate reaction, positive reaction to the homeopathic medicine.
Great.
If in the first 24 hours of taking this, you feel like somebody has flipped a switch and all of a sudden everything is much better,
Yeah.
then you stop taking it and you let it ride.
Okay.
Resume taking it a few days later if the symptoms start to increase again.
Okay.
Now, if you're not sure, oh, maybe I feel a little bit better, or yeah, I feel a little bit better, you just keep taking it.
Okay.
But if there's a remarkable improvement, you stop. Okay.
Okay.
I had a remarkable improvement from one dose of a homeopathic medicine. I was cured of an illness I'd been suffering with for 3 weeks in 2 minutes.
No kidding.
Yeah,
What was that illness?
all I needed was one dose of the medicine. It was well, I'll give you the backstory. It was real quick. I was a senior at the University of Massachusetts in the pre-med department, and I had convinced myself I was going to become an osteopathic doctor. And I was very naive, and in those days, less so now. And I went for an interview, at an entrance interview at an osteopathic medical school in Maine. And the interviewer said, hey, I was very holistically oriented. That was one of the reasons I wanted to do osteopathic medicine, because of their physical medicine stuff that they did. And the dean of the school said, look, he said, I understand that you're very enthusiastic about the holistic aspects of osteopathic medicine, but if you want to get your degree and graduate and practice medicine, you're going to have to do internships in conventional allopathic MD hospitals.
Oh my God.
I did not know that. And so in like the course of 2 minutes, 4 years of my life, I thought were thrown completely out the window. I had just wasted all of this time and all of this money because there was no freaking way I was going to do anything in an allopathic hospital. That I just would not do that.
Good for you.
So I thought that I thought I just wasted 4 years of my life, and I was crestfallen. And the day after that interview, I got really, really sick. I had fever, I had chills, I had diarrhea, I had stomach pains. I couldn't keep anything down. Hard for me even to drink water. And those symptoms persisted for 3 weeks. I was wasting away, and nobody could help me. I was in a part of Massachusetts where if you throw a stick, you hit a doctor's office. Nobody knew what it was. All they wanted to do was throw, antibiotics at me, and I'm having none of it. Now, as long story short, as fate would have it, there were 2 naturopathic doctors in Massachusetts at that time. One of them lived in Boston, which was 3 hours away from me, and the other lived in the same town that I lived in. Well, how about that? So I went to see him, and I was a pretty arrogant pre-med student, by the way. I didn't know what naturopathic medicine was, but I was sure that it was quackery.
That's what I thought originally too.
I was carried into the guy's office, literally, right? I'll never forget it. He put me on an exam table. He poked around. He drew some blood. He asked me a bunch of questions, just like I asked you. He gave me 2 little pellets of a homeopathic medicine, and nothing happened. I didn't know what homeopathy was. I didn't know anything.
Yeah.
He scratched his chin. He got a big book out of his bookcase. I think he might even have, wiped dust off of it. It was a big, thick book, man. He rifled through it. He asked me some more questions, and he gave me a different medicine. And as soon as that medicine number 2 hit my tongue, I felt a thrill go through my body. I had to run into the bathroom, and I threw up like a bucket full of disgusting bilious sludge.
Oh.
And as soon as that crap left my body, I felt like a Venetian blind had been unfurled from my toes to my head, and I was cured.
Wow.
I was carried into his office. I walked out of it of my own volition. I went home and I slept for a long time, I think
12 hours, I bet. Yeah.
at least. And I woke up the next morning, born again into naturopathic medicine, and there's been no looking back ever since.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Well, I should be able to get a hold of this. And Daniel, after the show, send me the link where I can, the link to this show, because I want to send it to my medical team. Now, I belong to a community. We're like a self-reliant community.
Oh, yeah.
And so we have, a garden team, and we have a communications team and things like that. But we also have a medical team, and they're very good. We have 2 herbalists, we have 2 naturopaths, and we have 1 Chinese medicine practitioner. Now, I haven't gone to them yet. They heard about me, and one of the herbalists sent me a tincture. She gave me a tincture. Yarrow?
Yeah, yarrow wouldn't be really indicated here, but wouldn't hurt. But I don't think it's going to be curative.
Yeah, it hasn't really done much for me, the yarrow. I'll take it anyways because she recommended it. But I haven't gone back to them and told them about this problem. But now that I have a prescription here to pulsatilla, I'm sure they'll be able to find it for me.
Well, if they can't, just go to Amazon.com, type in pulsatilla 200C, and you should be able to get it overnighted to you.
I'll even try to send it to you, Stefan. If you can't get to it, I'll do it
there is one more thing, Stefan, that's worthwhile of understanding. Okay.
Yep.
And I'm going to be the only one that tells you this.
Uh-oh.
And this is based on 36 years of clinical experience. And one of the things that I pride myself on, because it's true, and because I work at it every day, I am the most open-minded physician you will ever meet in your life. I work at having 0 cognitive dissonance, right?
Right.
So years ago, I was working with a very famous naturopathic doctor, the most researched naturopathic doctor in the world. He just completed a $25 million research study. And he's the world's leading expert on therapeutic medical nutrition. And I became his student for 10 years.
Huh.
And I learned a boatload that none of my colleagues know regarding medical nutrition. And because of the cognitive dissonance, which is inherent in all systems of medicine, including naturopathy, it's been hard for me to communicate this to my colleagues because there's a saying, how many naturopathic doctors does it take to screw in a light bulb? Well, it only takes one, but every other naturopath in the room would tell you that there was a better and an easier way to do it.
That's what I've found in researching my symptoms.
I know, it's crazy, right?
Yeah, that's why I'm glad to talk to you, Mr. Glidden, and get your opinion on this. And I take your opinion with a high degree of respect.
Well, that's very kind of you. So the last information that I want to impart to you is what I learned from my colleague after 10 years of mentoring with him. There are 90 essential nutrients that the human body needs. There's 60 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, and 2 fatty acids for a grand total of 90.
Cool.
A nutrient is considered essential if the human body needs it, but the human body cannot make it. So, for instance, the body needs calcium, it can't make it. Body needs iron, can't make it. Body needs vitamin C, can't make it. Body needs omega-3, can't make it. There are 90 essential nutrients that the human body needs just in order to function the way that nature and God intended. The problem is a big problem. These 90 nutrients are not present in the food.
Right.
And they've been in decreasing concentrations in the food since the 1930s.
Yeah.
And we know this. This is all documented by the United States Department of Agriculture. So this leads to the remarkable statement, which nonetheless is true, that everybody on planet Earth, and by everybody I mean everybody, is deficient in essential nutrients
I believe that.
unless they are actively supplementing with the right stuff. So the reason that people get sick is, it's always a battle in the body between the stress of life and the strength of the body. And there's lots of stressors, right? There's chemtrails, there's aging, there's bad weather, there's emotional stress, political stress, financial stress, physical stress. There's all kinds of stress all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
When stress hits the body, right? If the body's strong enough, it bounces off. If the body's weak, the stress creates a disturbance. And one of the main reasons that people get pneumonia or anything, honestly, I don't care what it is. It isn't because of the stress. It's because their body was weak. And why was there? And I don't mean physically weak, like, you can bench press 300 pounds. I don't mean that. I mean, their body is nutritionally deficient. And if your body is nutritionally deficient, it will be weak internally. So one of the foundations of optimal health for everybody, and by everybody, I mean everybody, is mandatory supplementation with the 90 essential nutrients. It's mandatory. I mean, you have to drink water. You have to put warm clothes on when you go into cold weather. Well, you have to take the 90 essential nutrients into your body. So, and I've been doing this for 36 years, man. And I don't make any money from the sale of the nutritional supplements that I recommend. And the nutritional supplements that I recommend are the only ones in the world that give you all 90 essential nutrients in recipes that it's extremely easy to absorb. So you need to get immediately to start taking the 90 essential nutrients into your body. And it is entirely possible that just doing that will fix the problems that you're experiencing right now. The homeopathic medicine is a curative treatment. And it should fix the problem all by itself. But if your system after the fact is still weak, it's only a matter of time until it breaks again, right?
Right.
I mean, it's like jump starting a dead battery in a car. If the car hasn't been tuned up in 20 years, it's going to break down again. So we do the homeopathic to stimulate the body's ability to fix itself. And then we support and promote that with the 90 essential nutrients. And that's a winning, game-changing, life-changing prescription. And you would be wise to pay attention to it. Okay.
Hey, Dr. Glidden, can you please briefly discuss fractionated nutrition and why that's bad and how it could actually chelate other things out of your body or whatever? And can in relation with that, Stefan, can you explain or tell Dr. Glidden what other supplements people with good intentions have sent you that you've been taking, so that we can kind of dial in like what might be too much or might not be the full picture type of thing?
So what have you been taking?
Okay. Now that you mentioned nutrition, there's one other aspect I think I should go into. And that is, just before this incident last April, I was on like a 3-day fast.
Yeah.
And I also do intermittent fasting. So I only eat once a day.
Yep.
And I eat very little. Yesterday I had 2 eggs, 2 slices of bacon, and a slice of toast.
Yep.
The day before that, I had a bowl of clam chowder. The day before that, I had a bowl of beef stew out of a can. So I eat very little. So there's no way I'm getting the nutrition I need from from eating.
Well, it would be impossible to do that anyway, but it's a point that's well taken. You could own 100 acres of the most organic farmland on the planet, only eat the stuff that you grew, and you would still be nutritionally deficient.
Yeah. So one of my followers, fans on YouTube, very nice guy, he sent me a whole bunch of nutrition supplements. So I got vitamin C, I got vitamin D, I got zinc and magnesium and a couple of multivitamin things. And so I take those, but I only take those every 3 days. I don't take them every day because to be honest with you, I don't know if I'm going to take them every day. Is it going to become toxic?
So it's you can't hurt yourself by taking too many nutritional supplements if you do it the right way. But here's the problem, right?
Yeah.
So the human body is a complicated system of interrelated parts. And the fundamental naturopathic belief here, which is echoed by all holistic disciplines around the world, especially the Oriental ones, is that the human body is inhabited by a spiritual force which is intelligent. And the human body knows how to fix itself. The human body wants to fix itself. The human body's trying to fix itself all of the time. But it needs things to do that, right? We need to eat food. We need to drink water. We need to breathe air. Well, the body needs 90 essential nutrients, not 5.
Right.
Right? If you take shitloads of vitamin C or zinc or vitamin D in exclusion of the other 87 nutrients, you're going to upset the apple cart. You're going to upset the metabolic balance in the human body, similar to how the metabolic balance of the human body is upset by the introduction of pharmaceuticals.
Right.
Okay. This is referred to as fractionated nutrition, and it's not good because although you may get certain benefits from it, you're also going to get unintended consequences from it. Like, for instance, high doses of vitamin C, high doses of zinc, and high doses of vitamin D, like David, will all rob copper and selenium from the body and increase the likelihood of getting cataracts, and which we saw a massive increase of cataracts after COVID because nobody listened to me. Everybody was taking massive amounts of zinc and massive amounts of C and massive amounts of vitamin D, which caused a metabolic imbalance in the body, one of the results of which was the formation of cataracts. So a much better way to do this is to stop trying to micromanage the metabolism of the body, understand that the body has wisdom, the body knows what the hell it needs to do to fix itself, and give the body everything that it needs in recipes that it can actually absorb. So, and this is called holistic medical nutrition. And I've got to tell you, man, we've given this holistic medical nutrition, or these holistic medical nutrition protocols, to 10,000 people over the last 9 years with every disease you can imagine: intestinal polyps, rheumatoid arthritis, type 2 diabetes, obesity, fibrocystic disease of the lungs, right? And 83% of them got better. 83% just from the generic 90 essential nutrient medical nutrition intervention. Why? Because the body knows how to fix itself. It wants to fix itself. It's trying to fix itself, but it needs things to do that, man. And the things that it needs to do that are not in the freaking food. They're not there. So when you give these things to your body, and you don't have to take them every day, but at least every other day, then your body's going to start, the switches are going to start turning on that have been turned off for a long time. And a lot of things in your body mind will brighten up. And so you should get on board with the medical nutrition stuff here, in addition to the pulsatilla. And then, I think you're gonna not recognize yourself as far as your health and stamina and energy goes. I think it's going to be a whole new world for you.
Interesting. Okay, can I ask you 2 questions?
Certainly, yeah.
So when I got the prescriptions after they let me go from the hospital last April, they never gave me a diagnosis, but on the prescription form it says COPD.
Yeah, so that's chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. That's a bullshit blanket diagnosis. Anybody that comes into any medical office anywhere who has trouble breathing from time to time,
right?
It's chronic obstructive pulmonary disease.
Yes.
That's what they call it. And, this is an interesting thing to talk about. And this is a little deeper of a dive into the wonderful world of medicine, right?
You're preaching to the choir, Dr. Glidden.
But there's no such thing as a diagnosis. It doesn't exist.
Right.
There's no such thing as chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. What is that? See, a diagnosis is simply a name that doctors created, which they tack onto a group of symptoms
Right.
that a bunch of people experience. And so, oh, you have asthma. Oh, you have chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Oh, you have bilateral pneumonia. Oh, you have migraine headaches. Oh, you have fibromyalgia, whatever the hell.
Yeah.
And then the treatment is designed for the diagnosis.
Yeah.
Which is not real. Right? Medical doctors treat diagnoses, which are not real, which is why they fail. Holistic doctors treat people. So for example, I could have identical triplets. The same genes, exactly the same genes. They live in the same house. They eat the same food. They all have strep throat. They gave it each to the other. It's the same bug. And they would each need 3 different remedies to recover their health, even though they all have the same diagnosis, right?
Yeah.
Because it's impossible to treat a diagnosis. You can't do it. But that's what the medical doctors do all the freaking time, and that's why they fail. And this is the hardest thing for me to communicate to people. You know, people understand about the corruption in the pharmaceutical industry, and people understand about, you know, the monopolies are not good, and people understand that the drugs only suppress the symptoms and they don't offer a cure. But it's a real stretch for people to understand that the diagnosis is not real.
Yeah.
It is not a real thing. It's a made up, intangible thing.
I believe that.
And this is why we have a chronic disease epidemic, because the people that are in charge of the development and the delivery of medicine have their heads up their ass 100%. Right.
Yeah.
And oh, sorry. I was going to say the law of similars is something that comes into play here with the homeopathic when you're talking about them needing 3.
Yeah. So there's a lot of different ways to help the body to heal itself. Right. Fasting will do it sometimes. Medical nutrition will do it frequently. Hydrotherapy will do it. Acupuncture will do it. The laying on of hands will do it. Botanical medicine will do it. There's a lot of different ways to help the body to fix itself. When we are using a medicinal agent, there's only one curative law of nature for medicines. There's only one. It's called the law of similars. And the only way that a medicinal agent is going to be able to cure somebody is by stimulating the law of similars. And the only way that that happens is through the application of a system of medicine called homeopathy. And that's what the pulsatilla is. The pulsatilla is a homeopathic medicine. It is intended to activate the law of similars and bring your system back into a state of health. It's a remarkable thing. And when we combine the correctly prescribed homeopathic medicine with good old-fashioned fundamental medical nutrition, I mean, you know, the sky's the limit, man.
Yeah.
Right? Makes sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. What was I going to say about that? Yeah, I'm familiar with this because I did study herbology when I was younger. I don't remember anything now, but when I was in my teens and 20s, I was very interested in all that.
So botanical medicines, right, are nutritive. So when we use botanical medicines, we talk about supporting different organ systems.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So we use certain botanicals to help support the metabolism of the heart, to help support the metabolism of the liver, to help support the hypothalamus, to help support the adrenal glands, to this, that, and the other thing. And in this regard, the botanicals are similar to the nutrients, right? Because they're nutritive. And sometimes that's all that's necessary.
Right.
You give the body a little nutritional kick in the ass and it fixes itself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes that will not be sufficient to the cause. And when it is not sufficient to the cause, that's when homeopathy is indicated, or, something else like hands-on healing. I've seen remarkable things with hands-on healing. I mean,
Yeah, me too. Like I said,
yeah.
I'm a kung fu master, and
Yeah. Well, you know what I'm talking about.
we work with chi, and that's something else I do once in a while. I should do it more often, but I do the deep breathing exercise. I imagine a blue light in my belly, in the hara, the tantien, and then I imagine that blue light spreading throughout my body and healing whatever's in there. So I'm using visualization and deep breathing.
Yeah.
So that's another technique. And I've done that for a friend of mine who was suffering from lupus.
Yeah.
And he had a serious attack of lupus. And we were on our way to China at the time. And I went, Jesus, he can't come to China now because he's so sick. So I transferred that chi to him. And 2 days later, he was fine. So I don't know. It's anecdotal. Is there any proof to it or whatever? I don't know.
Well, I know. I mean,
You do?
Yeah, it works. I mean, there are a lot of different ways to help the body to heal itself. It's like, different paths up the mountain.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? There's a lot of different ways to do it. When we're using medicines to do it, homeopathy is the only curative medicine discipline on the planet.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ways to do it, though, like we've spoken about. And my clinical expertise is medical nutrition and homeopathy and, detox and fasting and hydrotherapy. It's like standard naturopathic stuff.
Yeah.
But of all of these things, the medical nutrition is the most effective, generically speaking. And if everybody in the world, by some genie in the bottle magic, started taking the 90 essential nutrients tomorrow, the chronic disease epidemic would end in about 9 months.
Yeah, I believe you. I believe you because the other thing is I was very close friends to a doctor in California. He's an emergency room doctor. He wrote 5 books. I edited his books for him because that's another thing I do. I help other authors rewrite their books, proofread them, and edit them. And I quizzed him on his allopathic medicine. Now, for an emergency room doctor, it's different. Okay, a broken leg. All right, I'm going to trust an allopathic doctor to reset the broken leg. But so he's not a GP or anything like that. But I questioned him many times. I said, so do you guys really know anything? And he confessed. He says, no, we don't.
Well, I'm with you 100%. And, every time I speak in public about this, I make it clear to people that, look, right, we need medical freedom, and allopathic medicine is really great for trauma care, military field medicine, surgery when it's necessary. I mean, that's the wheelhouse of MD medicine. And that's what, should be championed. But for everything else, man, they suck.
They suck, yeah.
So we need both, but we're a long way away from that. I mean, it's a felony for me to practice naturopathic medicine in the state of Tennessee.
Yeah, I know. And
Health Canada isn't going to cover naturopathic medical services.
No, of course not. No. Oh, that's a whole nother show, Daniel.
Isn't Dr. Sane homeopathy.ca? So he's in California or Canada somewhere too, right?
Yeah, the best homeopathic physician in the world, hands down. He's way out in front of it. He's like the Michael Phelps of homeopaths.
Wow.
Is in Montreal. Yeah.
Okay, I got one more question, but it's got nothing to do with what we've been talking about so far.
Okay.
My like I said, we got a medical team here, and we've got 2 women that do herbal cures.
Yeah.
They're the kind of girls they can walk down the trail in the forest and they can point out half a dozen medicinal herbs.
Yeah.
and tell
Love
you how
those
to use.
people. Yeah.
I love those people. I call them the medicine women.
Yeah.
And I love them both dearly. They're like daughters to me. And the one girl, she told me this story. I'm just going to run it by you and ask
hold on.
for your opinion. So her
Just
father-in-law
hold me
was
1 second, please.
diagnosed
Okay,
with
we'll be
prostate
wrapping this up here in a minute. I'll see.
prostate cancer.
Yeah.
So, like most people, they go to the allopathic doctors, and well, nothing worked. Chemotherapy, this, that, and the other, nothing worked. Radiation. So then they diagnose them. Well, you got a couple of months. That's it. So it's usually at that point that they start to turn to guess
Yeah.
who?
Yeah. Us.
That's right, homeopathic medicine. She had been telling him, well, you got to try these herbal things, this and that. And the other. And oh, no, 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 no. Well, I trust the doctors. Well, the doctors weren't able to help. Now he's on death's door. Finally, he turns to homeopathic medicine. She prescribed for him a tincture made from Swedish bitters.
Yep.
And apparently within 6 weeks, he was completely clear.
I mean, we have stories like this all the time, man.
I mean, stage 4 prostate cancer, 6 weeks of taking the Swedish bitters, and he's completely cured.
Okay, now here's where it gets really bad, man, and incredibly disheartening and eye-opening and, world shattering all at the same time. If that patient, person, human being, now cured from prostate cancer, went back to his oncologist, what do you think the oncologist would do?
Put him back on chemotherapy.
Well, no, so the guy's cured, right?
Yeah.
So the oncologist would say, well,
we misdiagnosed you.
Yeah, we misdiagnosed you. Or, well, that's just great. Keep doing what you're doing and don't come back to see me again. Instead of saying, well, son of a bitch, you had prostate cancer, end-stage prostate cancer. You had a month to live and now you're cured. What did you do? You would think that would be the next words out of their mouths.
You would think so.
But it never is.
No.
And this happens to us all of the time, and it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Because there is so much cognitive dissonance built into the education of the medical doctor that even when they have direct evidence in their face, which is contrary to what they were trained in, they simply can't see it, they can't accept it, they can't believe it. And that's why everybody is sick and suffering, because the goddamn medical doctors are intellectual freaking cowards, and it's killing us as a culture.
And that's why you started off the show by saying that you are completely open-minded. And I agree. That's the way to be. I had one of my Kung Fu students was an oncologist. He was in his 60s, middle 60s, Dr. Goldberg. And I remember asking him one time, I said, Dr. Goldberg, I said, listen, I've heard these stories of people with stage 4 cancer suddenly going into complete remission. I said, is that true? And he says, yeah, that happens sometimes. And I said, well, what happened? He says, we don't know.
But you would think they would try to research it, right? There's a guy in India. He's a medical doctor. He's a homeopath. He's in India, for goodness sakes. He doesn't use anything other than homeopathy. And he treats thousands of people. And I'll find his success rates here. Bone cancer, 203 viable cases, 81% success rate. Brain cancer, 435 viable cases, 83% success rate. Breast cancer, 824 cases, 86% success rate. On and on and on and on and on and on and on. You would think that the American Cancer Foundation would be all over this guy. Son of a bitch, an 83% success rate. We can't even come close to that. What are you doing? But that conversation is not had.
No.
Because of the jackbooted heel of the medical monopoly that we have all been suffering underneath for the last 112 years. And that's why people like us. This is the reason that I go on Daniel's show every week.
I thought it was because you liked me. God damn it.
Because nobody knows these simple fundamental things.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest, man. Nobody even, very few people know how to pronounce naturopathy, let alone know what the hell it is, right?
Right.
And more's the pity. So, we need to tell as many people as we can, as frequently as we can, about these realities. Because as God is my witness, Stefan, people are suffering needlessly. My profession
Oh, I
doesn't have
believe you.
the cures to everything, man. We don't. But we have the cures to a lot of things. And people just simply don't know what they're missing.
No, I believe you, Dr. Glidden. And after this show, I will share it on my YouTube channel and
well,
my social media, and I will send it to my medical team. They need to hear this because they don't get credit, of course, for what they do.
no, yeah, we don't. We're the redheaded stepchildren that society has, disenfranchised. And yet, just like Superman, we keep going to work every day, changing clothes in dirty old phone booths till our work is through. Right?
Just don't get caught, okay? We found this man naked in a telephone booth. He was changing into a red outfit.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, look, man, best of luck. I appreciate your trust more than anything. Let me know what happens, okay?
Okay, Dr. Glidden, thank you very much for your advice. It's much appreciated. That's why when Daniel told me he was having you on the show, I said, yeah, put me on the show. I'd like to talk to him.
Yeah,
and
I'm glad you did. Very, very good.
Okay. You have a good day, and same to you, Daniel.
Thank you, Stefan. And I have a call here that's you got a couple minutes?
I do, yeah.
Alrighty. Hello, Hampton, North Carolina. State your name and ask your question.
Hey, it's Jordan. I called a couple weeks ago. Thanks for taking my call. I'll try to make this quick. So my baby she's almost 11 months old now. She had the bumps on the back of her throat or back of her tongue. And she was taking the Argentum nitrochrome that helped with the spit up. That was perfect. That went away. The bumps were always still kind of there, but got better, but they were never fully went away. And then recently she started putting her hands in her mouth a lot again when we were trying to feed her. And so I started, and it started getting really bad. So I started the Argentum nitrochrome again twice a day. I started that back yesterday, and it seems to be helping a little bit. But I wanted to see, I have a couple questions.
Yeah. So what are the child's symptoms?
She just has these the very tip of my pinky, there's symmetrical bumps on the very back of her tongue. You can't see them unless she sticks her tongue out to get a spoonful of food. And then she just shoves her hands in her mouth between every bite, like she's trying to scratch them or something.
And it's at the back of the tongue.
Yes, the very back. You can't see them if she's not sticking her tongue out.
Okay, how old is she?
Almost 11 months.
Yeah, Jordan has followed up with us, I think, last week or the week before, too.
Yeah. And how's her behavior been since she's been sick like this?
Well, I wouldn't even say she's been sick. She was, when she had the spit up, this was a couple months ago. And she's a very happy baby. She's always been, not a very chill baby in general. A little, I don't want to say high maintenance because I feel like that's kind of mean to say of a baby, but kind of high maintenance.
So what do you mean high maintenance? Does she have to be carried all the time? And if you put her down, she doesn't like it, or you'll give her something and she throws it away and asks for something else. And then she throws it away and asks for something else. What's she like? What do you mean high maintenance?
She's just very loud, I guess. She's really not, maybe, this is my first baby. I don't know what's normal. I really shouldn't, say, because I don't have any comparisons, but, she just, can be a lot. And I mean, she'll entertain herself sometimes, but there's just days where she's just not having it, and she's not afraid to let you know and yell
Yeah.
about
Does
it.
she perspire at night when she's sleeping?
She does not. She has been. She'll sleep through the night every once in a while, but she's been waking up probably around sometime between 11:30 and like 1 or 1:30 most of the time. And then if I pick her up and then I'll lay on the couch with her, she'll sleep the rest of the night.
So she wakes up in the middle of the night and wants to be held?
Well, she just doesn't. She starts crying, and then I go get her, and then I bring her in the living room on the couch, and then she falls right to sleep and sleeps.
And then you put her back in the crib?
No, we both sleep on the couch.
Okay, so you're sleeping together on the couch for the rest of the night.
Yes.
Okay, very good. Why are you sleeping on the couch?
Well, I start in bed and she starts in the crib, and then when she wakes up, I go grab her, and then as opposed to trying to, if I just lay down with her, she falls right back asleep.
Okay. And well, how would you characterize her thirst during the day? Is she a thirsty baby or not so much?
No, we haven't started doing water or anything like that. We're still doing formula and trying to introduce solid foods. But my biggest thing is I feel like she can feel the bumps when I'm trying to do, like solid foods that, she really should be like chewing more or whatnot. And I feel like it looks like on her face that she can just feel it and it's bothering her. So it makes me feel like she's choking or, having a hard time.
Okay. But why do you think the Argentum helps?
I don't know. I know that it helped. I wasn't really sure what else to try because I know it helped with the spit up. And originally I was thinking that the bumps would go away if she stopped spitting up so much. And it did, because she never spit up hardly at all. It was just, I don't know if it was some kind of bug. I'm not big on viruses, but
Yeah. Okay. Is she drooling a lot?
Yeah, she's definitely teething.
She's definitely teething.
Yeah.
And you know that because she's a little whiny and she's drooling a lot?
Yes. And
Okay.
I can see her teeth coming in.
All right, very good. Does her tongue look funny other than the raised bumps on the back of it?
No, her tongue looks perfect.
So the tongue is not coated. The tongue doesn't have cracks or big crevices in it?
Nope.
Okay, very good. And how's her breath?
It's just normal, like baby breath, as far as I know.
Okay, all right. So there's two things that we can try. You have something to write with?
Yep.
All right. These are both homeopathic medicines. The first one's chamomilla, CH, C like Charlie, H like Harry, A like Apple, M like Mary, O like Oscar, M like Mary, I like India, L, A, chamomilla.
Okay.
Get it in the 30C potency. Give her one pellet orally twice a day for 2 days. Okay. The next one would be Argentum nitricum, similar to what you're giving her now, but it's a homeopathic. You spell that ARG like Georgia, E like Echo, N like Nancy, T like Thomas, U, I think. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, U like Utah, M like Mary. That's ARGE Argentum nitricum. NITRI.
That's what I am giving her.
Argentum, the homeopathic Argentum nitricum.
Yeah, I think you asked her to get that
Yes,
one of the first
from
calls.
the board.
Oh yeah, the boiron. You've been giving her that,
and that works amazing.
Okay, well, why don't you just keep giving it to her, or have you been?
So we did the whole thing like it was like a month ago when she was spitting up and whatnot, and that works great. And then 2 weeks ago, because I missed last week, you had said try the Argentum nitricum once a day for 5 days, see if that works. And that wasn't good enough. So I gave her a break though from it. And like I said, I missed calling in last week.
All right, so give her the chamomilla.
Getting worse. I started back twice a day.
All right, very good. So give her the chamomilla. That should seal the deal here.
Okay, so do the chamomilla twice a day for just 2 days?
No, you should see a noticeable improvement within 48 hours. If you do see a noticeable improvement, you just keep giving it to her until she's better. If you give her this for 2 days,
okay, so I can't give her too much of either.
Well, no, you can. It wouldn't hurt her, but it would cause an undue aggravation. So when we're treating a child with a homeopathic, if I don't see a positive response in 2 days, then it's the wrong remedy and you should stop giving it. But if you do see a positive response, just keep giving it to her until she's 100% better.
Sorry, I didn't mean to keep jumping in. So if the Argentum nitricum seems to be working with doing 2 of the 30C a day, but it doesn't totally go away, should I keep doing the 2 a day or up it to 3 a day?
All right, so if the Argentum nitricum is working, then you should get it in the next highest potency, which would be 200C.
Okay.
But that was just for the spit up, right? It didn't do anything for the bumps, did it?
Well, it kind of helped everything, and then the bumps just came, like, they never really went away. They just flattened out, and I thought, it was fine. They'll keep resolving themselves, and now it's back in full force. And I'm trying to look at her diet and stuff too.
Yeah, it's probably something. You're breastfeeding her, right?
No, I did my best, but we're doing the formula.
You got to switch
trying to
formulas.
Do more of the purees and stuff, and
you got to switch formulas because that's what's causing the problem.
Okay. Because she's on
100%.
a hypoallergenic right now. She's been on that since the spit up thing, which,
Well, but it's not working because the bumps are coming back.
Right.
So it's not working. So you need to switch it to something else.
Without the DHA and all that crap in it, right?
I've got a recipe on my website somewhere.
Yeah, the website's actually tickering on the bottom too, with the coupon code for anybody who's watching. Otherwise, it's in the description of the video too for Leave Big Farm Behind. You'll see that link, and then you can click that, and all but there's just the code for the 50% off.
So if I were you,
I tried the 200C.
Yeah, you can try that. No problem.
For 5 days or?
No, just 2. Just 2. If it's not helping in 2 days, it's not going to help.
Okay, gotcha. Sorry, I'm trying to stick with you.
Okay.
The other one was a chamomilla that you used. Should that go first though?
I mean, whichever one you can get first, you should give her because it can't hurt her and it might help.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
And then my last question: do you think the only thing I could find in her the food purees that would be different? Do you think that ascorbic acid or citric acid could be causing the bumps to get worse?
No.
Or I think they're preservatives, but
No, ascorbic acid is vitamin C.
okay.
So
I just wanted to check because it was an ingredient that they were adding for whatever reason in the baby food. It says it's a preservative. But
I mean, when it comes to babies and the mouth or the gut, if there's a problem, 9 times out of 10, it's what they're eating is the problem, and it needs to be changed.
okay.
So whatever you've been giving her, I would switch it out to another brand. And that is probably going to fix it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Very good. All right. Good luck. I know it's hard.
Sorry.
It's hard with babies. Let me know what happens next week, and best of luck.
No, I will. Thank you so much.
All right. You're welcome.
Thank you, Jordan.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Alrighty. So since we have two around the room, it's Dr. Glidden, and Stefan, you got any final messages for the peeps out there? I appreciate both of you coming on and having this discussion. I think a lot can be gleaned from just listening and seeing the process. What is that?
That's my microphone on the stand. It sounds like a haunted house opening a door. No, thank you, Dr. Glidden, for your time. I feel, you see, because I researched the COPD, and all I got was, oxygen tanks and inhalers and this and that, and it's incurable. And I'm going, no, it's not incurable, for Christ's sake. I'm a living human being. I can cure things,
Yeah, they're full of shit.
Of course, you're full of shit, and I'm so tired of it. That's why it was a real pleasure to speak to you, Mr. Glidden, and Dr. Glidden. And I really have a lot of hope for the prescription or the recommendations you offered. So thank you very much.
You're welcome very much. Please let me know what happens, and live long and prosper, man.
You too, buddy.
All right.
All right, guys. And
thanks, Daniel. It's always a pleasure hanging out with you.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate your time.
I need some advice from you, though, Dan.
What's that?
My biceps keep ripping my shirts. What should I do?
Oh, I guess fast for too long. That should help.
Oh, I do have one question for you. I can't remember this for the life of me. You know those books that Tom Cowan wrote, or the book that Tom Cowan wrote about, the myth of contagion, right?
Vaguely, yeah. I can get the same information from Dr. Stefan Lanka, because that's kind of where he's leaned it from.
That's the guy. So it's Stefan Lanka that he pulled his information from, right?
For the most part, yeah.
Okay, that's what I couldn't remember. All right,
okay.
I appreciate you. Thanks so much. We'll be in touch.
Thank you, sir.
Adios.
And we will be going over where Dr. Glidden's site can be found, and Stefan Verstappen, same name for his YouTube channel, and it's Warrior Way on BitChute. Every Sunday we try to get together. He's on every Sunday for his live stream, but I try to get in as many times as I can. So you can check that out on his channels. Stefan, any last statements?
No, that's about it.
I thought someone was making a fart noise when I first heard it.
No. Please.
No, it's the wrong one. There we go.
Yeah, no, that's me fucking around.
Okay.
No, Daniel, thanks for letting me know about Dr. Glidden. I really like him. I think he's great. And we need to get the word out to people. There's, I don't know what, hundreds of thousands, millions of people dying from allopathic medicine every year that could be cured. And they always say, there's no cure. You just have to take these pills forever.
Right, because drugs don't cure anything, and that's not how the body works. And you can only, by law, treat a quote-unquote disease that they made up, like the diagnosis, with a drug.
Yeah,
because of their laws. So it's never going to fix itself. It's only going to make people sicker and die.
So you helping to promote Dr. Glidden's work is really brilliant, and I commend you for it. Thanks, Daniel.
Thank you, Stefan.
Say goodbye. What?
I said, I said thank you, Stefan.
Oh,
And
okay.
I look forward to Sunday, bud.
Yeah, I always love you to come on Sundays, but for those listening, YouTube always takes down my live stream within minutes because we talk about things you're not allowed to talk about.
You know what? Hold on. Just while you're still in here, just hold on just a second, because I'm pretty sure you have access to the, what do you call it? To the comments in the private. Is there a private chat? Yeah, there's a private chat right there. So let me hit paste on here if you want that link right away. This is the Rumble link. If you need a different one, the FTJ didn't initiate today, so I wasn't able to be on FTJ at the same time. Usually, it's easier to download from that site, but if you're able to
Yeah.
download from Rumble, then that's cool too.
I should have
Otherwise, it's not going to be on
restreamed
BitChute
this.
too.
I didn't see the button stream to your audience. I should have restreamed this. I'm no good at these things, but anyways, next time.
Yeah, so that link is in the private chat. So if you want to click it, otherwise I'll just send it to you in an email after the show.
Yeah. Thanks, Daniel. You have a good day, and hopefully we'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you, sir. Talk to you soon. All right, so we're just gonna show the website real quick for Dr. Glidden, and then we'll send you guys on your way. So this says I need to get a white coat and change my first name. Then maybe people will listen to me and listen to Dr. Glidden. Yeah, right. You gotta have the costume, otherwise, you're not the sorcerer. Let's see. Oh, I gotta do it the other way. Yeah, I can do it just here. All right, cool. Boom, boom. All right, so since we're not on FTJ for some reason, let's go to Rumble. And as you can see, as I'm scrolling down here, the very top thing says "Do it for your health." Join Dr. Glidden's membership site. You click that, right? And Ball Busters, no spaces, is the code for. Oops, why am I not on? That was weird. Let's fix that. Is the code for 50% off the membership, and you could do monthly, and you can also, once you see the site and understand how much information is here and how valuable it is, you can always change it to an annual if you'd like, and it'll save you, I think, like another $150. So it goes from like $30 a month with the discount to $20 a month, or you could look at it as saying you're getting 4 months free or whatever. All these up here are also in here when you hit the member content thing. Health recovery protocols, medical insight. It used to be called medical myth busting. So this is where you'll find the 12 bad foods, which is another thing we should have covered today. The 12 bad foods that you want to avoid. And, as much as I hate the idea that a plant protein is bad for you because it's nature, it's not so much even that. It's the glyphosate that it's covering for sometimes. That's gluten. Maybe it's the glyphosate that's in it too. But also gluten could be, like Dr. Glidden is saying, destroying because it's a big chain molecule that's not being broken down. The protein can cause really bad damage to the part of your intestine that absorbs all your nutrients. So it could kill those things, and then you don't have the ability to absorb nutrients anymore. So, okay, fine, you gluten-free people out there, even as annoying as you might be, you are right. You feel better now? Okay. But what wasn't right is not knowing what the hell gluten was and asking me stupid questions for 10 years about, is this gluten-free? I'm like, it wouldn't have gluten in it if there's not these things in it. So no, it doesn't. That wasn't on the show. That was through my business. Like, is it gluten-free? It's like, that thing wouldn't have gluten in it anyway. The essential minerals, one right here, the salt is very, very good. Healthy blood sugar, thyroid health. I think everybody should be looking at this one real quick too, and the selenium in conjunction with it, because I was just talking to Niche for 4 hours yesterday, and I have had horrible energy, really bad tanking energy for the last. And Stefan, feel free to jump in here if you want to. I've had horrible energy the last, oh God, couple weeks, and that's when I just started doing the market. So I was outside more, and it was windy. So I'm thinking, okay, there's pesticides being sprayed. There's spraying above me because there's all kinds of farmland out here, even though it's a desert, they irrigate and all that stuff. So maybe I was getting sick from that. I don't know what it was, and I've had like even muscle fatigue that I don't normally have. Like my muscles weren't just getting sore; they didn't have the fuel that they needed to do the elliptical like I do every single day. So I should be conditioned by now to do my 4 miles a day on the elliptical. And I was having a really hard time getting through it the last few days, and I would crash, I'd pass out throughout the day when I wasn't at the market. But if I was sitting in a chair at the market, I had to stand because I'd start to fall asleep in the chair. So there's something going on, and Nisha's felt it too, and she's over in Washington, so it's not like a local thing. I didn't see the fog, but I have smelled something similar to what people were describing a few times, but that was a while ago. So whatever the hell's happening, it could be stripping copper from us, whatever it is. And you know what? Those radiation towers that they call 5G, that will suck the freaking nutrients and minerals out of your body. So will shitty food and every other thing that they're doing to us. So last night, I realized I still had some osteo effects, the beyond osteo effects with the calcium, magnesium, glucosamine, and vitamin. Well, they shouldn't have to put that one in there, but that's part of the 90 essentials. And I found that I still had a tiny bit that I was saving for my daughter of the plant-derived minerals. So I only took a little tiny bit of it. And that is the 60 minerals that your body can't make, right? Within 20 minutes, I literally felt better and I was able to sleep and I wasn't feeling like I was dying when I woke up, like I have been the last few days. So I just took a little bit more today, and I'm gonna have to get myself another bottle of the plant-derived minerals because I'm running very low. And I bought cheaper products of this before. Like I bought the Piping Rock one before. It doesn't have the same flavor. It doesn't have the same like sting to it. So I know it's watered down to like ridiculous amounts of inept amounts of the actual colloidal minerals. So I know the plant-derived minerals is better, even though it's about triple the cost. So
I'm not the only person
that's been feeling like that. No, you're not. And it was probably really bad for me within the last week. It was slowly being like that, but I could tell because I do things like you saying with the bike riding or walking up the stairs, me doing the elliptical. Depending on what time of the day, like it's at the end of the day, of course I should be expecting that I've already tired myself out a little bit throughout the day, but it doesn't matter anymore. Like my muscles are the one. It's not just me getting tired, like bodily tired. No, it's like the actual muscles and the body tiredness, and like I notice also that a lot of it has to do with whether or not I'm interested enough in the book that I'm reading on the ebook on my phone. Because if I watch a video or I listen to music, I still feel that fatigue really bad. If the book is really engaging and I'm really interested in it, I could go through it and not even realize that an hour and a half has passed. It's usually about an hour and 10 minutes or an hour and 15 minutes that it takes me to do the 4 miles. So, yeah. So that's a factor, but that's not what's going on because I just have not been able to like do it without stopping multiple times to take a breath and, stretch my legs out because they were starting to cramp and then get back on it and all kinds of stuff. So,
yeah, there's something going on, Daniel. I live in a 3-story apartment. It's a low rise, right? And no elevators or anything like that. And I have a middle-aged woman that lives above me and a middle-aged woman that lives below me. And our bathroom vent system, it seems to be connected, right? So I'm up at 5 o'clock in the morning anyways. I go in the bathroom to take a leak, and both of them are coughing up a lung every morning.
Really?
Oh, yeah. They're just, and I've spoken to them. I said, well, I hear you in the morning cough. I mean, really bad. I mean, even I don't cough like that, not even with the condition that I've got. They're like, they're just coughing up a lung. Not only that,
my daughter's been doing that lately. She's been coughing a lot, and I've been trying to get her to take quercetin, and she won't. That's an antihistamine. That's a natural, like from the rinds of like oranges or whatever, and citrus fruit. But
yeah, they're both coughing up a lung. Both of these women are. Plus, there's an ambulance that pulls up in front of the building here every 2 days and takes somebody out. Every 2 days. Oh, yeah. Mostly they're dead. I don't know why they're dead, but they're dead. And my delivery guy, Mark, he's a really nice guy. Delivers,
Do they have a smart meter on that building? But I've been wondering if there's a smart building.
They installed smart meters in every apartment 2 years ago.
And now everybody's starting to feel ill. Gee.
Everybody's coughing up. They all got respiratory something or another. And my buddy Mark, we talk about this. I said, he said, oh yeah, because he drives around throughout the countryside, right? Because we're out in the country here. So, he delivers to the remote farmhouses and things like that. He says, they are all dropping dead out there. He says about 5 people that he knows have dropped dead. I said, well, did they get the vaccine? And he says, I don't know, but probably, who knows? But
Imagine if that had. Could you imagine if there's a correlation between towers? Well, first, remote access to anything. So let's say the smart meter is like a lithium battery in one of these vehicles that they can just send, or a pager that they can just blow up whenever they want to because they send the signal to it to make it overheat and explode, right?
Yeah,
Imagine if they can up the radiation whenever they see fit, intermittently or whatever, in homes to clear out people, and it's like a silent killer.
Yeah.
Or they're using the tower to interact with it, or it's the tower itself, or it's whatever they got shot up with interacting with whatever those signals are.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm in a small town in the rural countryside, and people are dropping like flies. And those that aren't dropping like flies, they're coughing up a lung every morning. Unbelievable. So there's something else going on, Dan.
Have you guys had that fog?
We had some pretty bad fog, but this was before all the stories about the fog came out. So I don't know if it was the same fog or not.
Right. And that's the same thing with here. Like, we had a strange smell in this town for a while. And, over on the other side of the border in Mexico, like when you're driving past the sand dunes, you'll see this fire every once in a while. So I just assumed they were burning something on the other side. Like, I don't know if they're burning garbage or whatever, but there's always some kind of like fire going on that they're, control burning in the small area. So I figured maybe I was just smelling something like that because of the wind. But they spray all around here too, and when the winds pick up, they're that dust and the sand, you can see it all coating everything. So whatever's coming off the fields is probably littered with all kinds of poisons too.
Well, there's another weird thing. Now, we are allegedly on well water in this town, and we don't have not formaldehyde. What do you call it?
Chlorine.
Yeah, we got chlorine, but we don't have the other one. Not formaldehyde.
Fluoride.
No, the one that they put in everybody's water to make them stupid. What's that called again?
Yeah, fluoride. Right? Fluoride, like the toothpaste? Like that stuff?
No. Oh, fluoride. Yes, fluoride. We don't have fluoride in our water. And then, a couple of months ago, I got a strange phone call. And they said, oh, we're doing a survey. And can you tell us if you smell anything bad with your water?
Whoa.
And I'm thinking, why? Why are you phoning me to ask me if there's something wrong with my water? Now,
they want to make sure they're getting just the right amount in there so it's not detectable to people, right?
Yeah, exactly. They're fine-tuning their poison, right? And now the other day I put some dishes in the sink, and I wanted them to soak, and I pulled them out yesterday, and they're coated with something. I don't know what it is.
Is it slimy?
It's slimy.
That shit happens with our tap water too. That's what we don't drink the tap. We don't even boil water for noodles with it. We get it from a cleaner source that does like a 12 filter process and reverse osmosis and all this other stuff.
And it had a really bad smell too. So I'm thinking, what the hell is this stuff on my dishes? So I'm trying to clean it off, and I'm using soap and a Brillo pad and all that kind of. This stuff won't come off. Finally, I soaked everything in bleach. Still won't come off. So all those containers, I threw them in the garbage. I can't clean them. When am I going to use them? Yeah. So anyways, weird to get a phone call about your water. So what are they doing? Well, my guess is they're poisoning us. What else is new?
All right. Especially in the same place that is more than happy to send the maids out to you.
Yeah. So there's something going on, folks. I got a water filter on my tap, and when I use that, but when I wash the dishes, I don't use the water filter, and then there's this slime buildup on my dishes. I can't get rid of it, even with bleach and the scrubber and soap and boiling water. I can't get rid of it. Won't come off the dishes.
All right,
What
so
the hell is
Sunday we
that?
talked about your distiller, right? If you're
Yeah.
gonna have to, if you have to do the tap water and you can't, get 5 gallon jugs or something
Yeah.
somewhere
Yeah.
of a cleaner water, then I would totally maybe start making your own distilled water from the tap
Yeah,
water
I
if that's
got
the
to
best you
do
can
that.
do.
Yeah. Thing is,
At
I'm
least
on.
for drinking. And,
Yeah.
I mean, you're probably gonna have to still shower in it and all that and wash your clothes in it, but at least you're not drinking it too.
Yeah, there's some kind of slime in the water. I don't know what it is. Yeah.
Karen says, but they would never. They love us to death.
Karen's being sarcastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're trying to kill us. That's all there's to it. And people are, and then the other thing too is the chemtrails. Oh my God,
They've been pretty vicious around here lately too.
yeah, like one day
Beautiful
we'll
day
get
turns
like,
into the freaking clouds and because you see, oh look, they're spreading and it's a nice sunny day. Oh look, it's cloudy now. Oh, the wind's picked up. Isn't that something?
Anyways, I'm going to sign out.
Yes, sir.
And thank you for having me on the show, Daniel, and all the best. But at least I'm not the only one that gets that fatigue, right?
All right. Right. Yeah, that's something that even niche out in Washington and Karen's out in Washington too. We've been experiencing it. And again, like I said, but I stopped the supplements for a while because I ran out of one of the main ones, which is the Tangy Tangerine. So I forgot I even had this Osteo FX in here. This is part of the 90 Essential thing. And the plant-derived minerals I was trying to save for my daughter. But there's another one in there that I got from Piping Rock that's not as good, but it's got a flavoring to it. So I think it's easier for her to sneak it into her like orange juice or something. So we tried, if you could get some minerals, she's just really hard about, not wanting to take things. I forgot to ask Dr. Glidden about rhodiola rosea. I wanted to ask him about that because that's like the Viking, they call it Viking, but Goth, Scandinavian, cold Arctic weather, high mountain plant that people have been using for vitality, sexual vitality. Also, they would take it and become stronger, tougher warriors and all this other stuff. So basically energy. So I was, since I was having these issues, I was like, why not try something that it's been, taken for 10,000 years or whatever it's been, 2,000 years that we know of and give that a shot.
Yeah. Okay, Daniel, see you later. And Karen, thank you for your comments. And I'm really just signing off now.
All right.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. All right. So I've noticed throughout that broadcast that we've been having these intermittent stopping or it's like been pausing and glitching out a little bit. I think I know what the issue is. I think it's the Time Warner cable. Even though I have it hardlined in here, it's not going through any not Wi-Fi. It's hardlined into the brand new computer that we're using right now. So it's either having a hard time with the quality. See, it just happened again. But it's been really choppy on Rumble lately, and I'm thinking that our Time Warner Spectrum is dog shit or whatever it is. And I don't think it's Time Warner anymore, but Spectrum is dog crapola, and that's the cable one. So there's this thing called Allo. That's a fiber optic. Seems like I'm going backward in technology, but apparently it might be better. So we'll see if I need to change over to that. Our vacation rate, $40 a month for 10. That's horrible. I don't know what the hell that means. Yeah, it's garbage. But anyway, I'll have to check this out. And if it's affordable, I'll get rid of freaking Spectrum. The freaking CenturyLink was better than this one. The way it's being choppy. I always knew things about Spectrum being bad, but they were like, no, that was the old way. We and we infrastructure this and new management that. And I'm like, yeah, okay, we'll see. And now that I'm actually testing it, because I haven't been, because I've had to use the CenturyLink for this old computer because it won't let me use the other one. Now I'm seeing how it sucks. So we'll try to fix that in the future. So don't be discouraged. Keep watching, and I'll iron this all out. All right. We're on the new computer the last few videos, so we'll just have to work on it and get it all done. The code that you're seeing going around the bottom of the screen, the ball busters, it's that lowercase, no space. That's 50% off Dr. Glidden's site. Dr. Glidden's site link for me is right there. But also, if you just go right here, let's go to share screen, Daniel. All right, I'm going to show you one last thing that you can way to get to Dr. Glidden's site. So you'll see the big farm behind right here. That's the direct link. But if you click on my site and you, hey, look, you can get 10% off with one-stop shop coupon. I don't know what sauce. Isn't that neat? Okay, anyway, scroll down. Oh, wait, don't even scroll down too far. See this one? It's already set up to the link. So you just click it, and right underneath it, it says what the code is right there for 50% off membership. Okay, so you click this awesome graphic that I made. Love the colors. And boom, there you are. And then you sign in and do your thing and get the coupon discount code, right? All right. Now, the other thing you can do here, which I wanted to try to get Dr. Glidden on again here soon, you can get the Tough Body, energetic touch, all that stuff, the touch points, that book, the practitioner's book, and other things on his site by clicking this, and you don't need a code anymore. It's already part of the link that gets sent to, that sends you to the site. So you can just click this. The Azure Well, I want to also make sure that people are aware of. So that's BB5 for the 5% off. I want to explore this with you just for a moment. And say Alaskan cod liver oil, whole food vitamin. Oh, good. They put them next to each other so I don't have to hunt too much. Those two, the fulvicumic acid and the IP6, which is, I think, a little bit further down, is another way to get your 90. And I would add the core copper, which, by the way, I'm probably just going to buy the core copper myself soon. Like, probably when I get off this, so you don't see my info. That the fulvicumic acid is kind of like doing the plant-derived minerals. Just a heads up. And this thing, I think, lasts you about 90 days for the smallest version of it. And the whole food vitamin, obviously, that should be self-explanatory. And then there's also a vitamin C by itself in here somewhere, but it's a whole food vitamin C. So it has the copper bond in it, and it's not just ascorbic acid, it's ascorbic acid, citric acid, the whole thing, the whole shebang, right? It's not made with cornstarch and hydrochloric acid like ascorbic acid typically is. Mm, mm, mm. I'm sure it's in here somewhere. There's the IP6 right there. There's a lot of stuff in here. Oh, lung support. Wonder what's in here. I'm curious. I wonder if there's what did I get? Mullion? Is it mullion? No, and acetylcysteine. I'm surprised mullion isn't in this. I heard that was good for lungs. I was so convinced of it that I actually got it for my daughter. She won't take that either because they had put honey in it, and she doesn't like honey apparently. Like, come on. She was very upset with us when she had to take it. I'm like, Farrah, these are all the things that make you feel better. You gotta listen to us. It's not always. It's not everything. Not everything is up for debate. It's not. It's not a. It's not a. What do they call it? It's not. It's not up for discussion. It's not a. It's not a negotiation. Is I think the way I put it. It's like we wouldn't negotiate with you if you're crossing the street on whether or not you should look both ways. It wouldn't be. It's not up for negotiation. Certain things you just gotta listen to your parents. But she's smart enough to understand what that means and gets it. But she still that doesn't change the fact that she fights it. Pure Castile. I didn't see these before. I think these are new. Liquid soap. That's cool. Yeah, those are new. From at least I have never scrolled down that far, or they're new. One of the two. I don't know. I'm sure there was a vitamin C in here that I just like a whole food C that I just didn't even see when I was scrolling. There had to have been. Yeah, sure. Jesus. Looking still. Core copper, awesome. Oh yeah, Whole Food C complex right there. Bam. Let's take a look at this. Here's the alma extract of vitamin C source, no synthetic ascorbic acid or corn derivatives. Nice. Promotes immune and optimal health support. Gentle on the stomach. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Carefully formulated with organic alma, recognized for its abundant natural vitamin C content, this product offers a holistic and superior alternative to synthetic ascorbic acid used in many vitamin supplements on the market today. Why? Because it's cheap. And because they're trying to kill you. Either way, however you want to look at it. Accompanied by botanicals like cilantro, rose hips, hesperidin extract, and quercetin. Whole Food C complex is an antioxidant and immune supportive supplement. Natural versus synthetic. While the market is inundated with vitamin C products, many contain synthetic ascorbic acid or its derivatives such as calcium ascorbate, magnesium ascorbate, or sodium ascorbate. Contrary to widespread belief, these lab-engineered powders, often sourced from genetically modified corn sugar, cannot replicate the full nutrient spectrum of natural whole food vitamin C. Right. And as I was just saying, because he makes a point to say there's no corn, right? What did it say? No synthetic ascorbic acid. He says something about the corn in there, and that would be where I was saying with the cornstarch and the hydrochloric acid. You don't want that if you can't avoid it. You don't want something that robs you of energy. That's supposed to give you energy, right? Or make you feel better. Alrighty, we're good. Oops. There you go. So right above my head and in the description and on my website, Dr. Glidden's membership, that is the place to be to find all kinds of information that you're going to need to know because they're trying to kill us. And he's not trying to kill you. He's trying to save you. So trying to keep you healthy. Trying to help you understand how to keep yourself healthy. That's the even better part, right? He doesn't want you dependent on him. He wants students, not patients. All right. Later.